This week in IT, a legacy authentication protocol in Active Directory is causing problems for some organizations as hackers exploit it. Copilot Vision is coming free to Microsoft Edge users in the US, and Windows 11 is being pushed out to some corporate users despite Intune policies set to block it. Stay tuned for all the latest news. Welcome to This Week in IT, the show where I talk about everything connected to Windows, Azure, and Microsoft 365. Before I get started today, I've got a quick favour to ask you. 48% of the people who watched the last video weren't subscribed to the channel. Now, as we go live today, we're on about 11,650 subscribers. I'd love it if we could push that up to 11,700 this week. So if you'd like to see this weekly news roundup from Petri.com, then please subscribe to the channel and don't forget to hit the bell notification to make sure that you don't miss out on the latest uploads. Before I jump into the first story, I've got a quick message from today's sponsor of the video, Chaosoft. If you're in the Chicago area and are a hybrid Active Directory manager, administrator or architect, Chaosoft is hosting an AD Resilience seminar on April the 23rd between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. at London House, Chicago. Learn about AD misconfigurations and threats you might be overlooking, and best practices for AD resilience, protection, and recovery. There's also a free breakfast included and a chance to win a Surface tablet with Copilot. Register at chaosoft.com. Let's go back a couple of weeks to the 50th anniversary of Windows event that Microsoft hosted, and unfortunately because I was ill last week I wasn't able to cover it directly, but I'd just like to talk a little bit about what happened at that event today. Now, of course, it was all about AI, Copilot, and how they're integrating all these things into Windows right now and going forwards. But I thought one of the interesting things that was talked about at the event was Copilot Vision. Now, this is something that I've not used myself, to be honest, and I've seen demos of it, and there are of course other systems that are very similar to Copilot Vision. For instance, you can go into the Google AI Studio and you can do things that are very similar to what Copilot Vision does. Now, in case you're not familiar with this technology, essentially what it allows Copilot to do is see exactly what you can see on your screen. Now, I bet you're thinking, what could possibly go wrong with that? All the fuss that we've had over things like Windows Recall and all the rest of it. But this has been thought out a little bit better from the get-go. You have to opt in every time. So while this feature is there, it's not turned on by default. It's not watching every single thing that you're doing. You have to actively turn it on, and then you only get to select a particular window on your screen that it can see. So while it says kind of, well, Copilot's going to see your screen or share your screen with Copilot, actually what you're doing is sharing a specific window. Now, this technology has the potential, to really change the way we do things and the way we drive Windows, essentially. Imagine a point in the future where you could tell it what to do using natural language rather than using a keyboard and a mouse. Of course, I don't think keyboards and mice are going to go away anytime soon. They're always going to have their uses for certain kinds of input to the device. But imagine a situation, let's say, where you've got an Excel spreadsheet. You need to perform a particular task there to, make a calculation, but you're not quite sure how to do it. You could turn on Copilot Vision and tell it what the problem is and ask it to help you solve the problem, and it will tell you, click here, do this, do that, and essentially you have your problem solved. Imagine this could even replace traditional training. It could replace how-to articles. It could replace video tutorials. It could replace the training that you do at work. Essentially, it's like having an assistant standing behind you telling you what to do and how to do it. Maybe there will even be a point where it just does it for you rather than telling you you've got to click here, click there, do this, do that, etc. So I think this technology is really interesting. How well it really works, I'm not sure. They gave some examples of, you could be looking at a website, for instance, and you could ask it specific questions to find, let's say you're on Amazon and you're shopping for something, you could ask it to find the right section on the website, you could ask it to look at all the different options and choose which one is best for a particular scenario. So there are all sorts of potential ways this technology could help you make decisions faster and get stuff done quicker by allowing it to see exactly what you can see. Now, interestingly, at the moment, Copilot Vision is a paid option for people who are subscribed to Copilot Pro. It's not part of Copilot for Microsoft 365 at this stage, so it's not part of that offering. I'm not quite sure why, but as we've discussed over the last few weeks, again, I'm pretty sure this is most likely a feature that they're testing out with consumers first. They're perfecting it, and then we'll probably make it available to commercial customers at a later point as part of Copilot for Microsoft 365. They did announce this week that they're making Copilot Vision freely available now for Microsoft Edge users, at this stage only in the United States, and it's only going to work with a very limited number of websites. I think they said about 9 websites, Amazon being one of them. So I'd be interested, if you get your hands on this, let me know how well it works and whether you think it's something that could be useful also in the enterprise. Now, if you're a Windows insider, you're also getting access to file search now in the Copilot app for Windows. Now, we've talked about search a lot on this channel because I think it's one of the areas where AI can really help us do stuff more effectively. We know that Microsoft is developing Windows search. They're adding semantic search to it, the ability to search using natural language. But if you're a Windows insider, the Copilot app now also allows you to search your device, and I assume any OneDrive libraries or personal OneDrives that you've got synced to your device. This is, again, an opt-in feature. So there are 2 opt-ins that you can do for this. You can allow it to search your files, and you can also allow it to read your files. So obviously, if you search for a file and it finds something, then you can also ask it questions about your files if you allow it that kind of access. So this is something that you actually get in Microsoft 365 Copilot at the moment. You can ask it, to search for a file. I found it to be really, really helpful. And now this is coming to Copilot for Windows in that Copilot app. And I guess this will roll out into the stable channel at some point over the next few months. A little bit confusing maybe, because you've got all these search features being developed in different places now, in the Copilot app, also in Windows search. So, maybe it won't be a problem. Users just can go anywhere to do this kind of searching, and hopefully it will all work in a very similar way. I hope it won't be that you have to go to Windows search to search in a particular way and the Copilot app to search in a different way. I think it's fine providing that it all works in a similar way across the different access points for search on Windows. In last month's update for Windows, Microsoft released a patch for a critical authentication vulnerability with NTLM. Now, this is an authentication protocol, a legacy authentication protocol that's associated with Windows and Active Directory that Microsoft has been trying to get organizations to turn off for many years now, and it seems not really succeeding well. So despite the fact that they've released a patch for this critical vulnerability, hackers are still exploiting it and succeeding, and this is of course causing some concern. Now, if you haven't audited your Active Directory environment for NTLM usage, probably now is a good time to start thinking about doing that. And Microsoft has some advice on their site, at least about how to do it with the version 1 of NTLM, and I'm sure that it can also be done for the other versions. And probably you're aware that when Active Directory was first released in 2000, along with Windows Server 2000, the default authentication protocol was Kerberos. So this is a much stronger authentication protocol than NTLM. NTLM was there really as a backwards compatibility thing for Windows NT and all the rest of it, but still lots and lots of applications, even some of Microsoft's management consoles that are built into Windows, still rely on NTLM as far as I'm aware. So Let me know in the comments below, have you tried to turn off NTLM in your organization? Is it something that's actually realistic to do? I'd really love to know what your experience is, but at the very least, make sure you get the latest patches installed for Windows and Windows Server to make sure that you don't fall prey to this exploit. Users in some organizations have been getting a surprise over the last week. They've been offered to install Windows 11, even though their organizations have specifically used Intune to block that notification to upgrade to Microsoft's latest and greatest operating system. So what on earth is going on? Well, Microsoft has admitted that it's a problem, and they say that this is a problem in the code. They're of course very sorry about it, and they're trying to find a fix and work on a fix and get that pushed out to Intune as we speak. Now, this has been a problem for some organizations because users have got the notification to upgrade, they press upgrade, and they've upgraded their devices to Windows 11. So now these organizations are basically having to go and reverse that and put them back onto the right supported operating system, which is obviously Windows 10 in most cases for their organization. Now, at the moment, Microsoft doesn't have a fix ready, and they're saying that organizations should pause all Windows feature updates to make sure that this does not happen to you, because obviously trying to go and put maybe hundreds of machines back to Windows 10 is a huge undertaking for IT organizations, and something that they probably need like a hole in the head, to be honest, at this stage. If you found this video useful, I'd really appreciate if you gave it a thumbs up, because it helps to get the video seen by more people on YouTube and to grow the channel. I'd like to thank again the sponsors of today's video. So if you're in the Chicago area next week, do check out that AD Resilience Roadshow, and you can register at chaosoft.com. I'm going to leave you with another video on the screen now that you might find interesting, but that's it from me for this week, and I'll see you next time.